Good morning. We're in the fourth Sunday of Lent. A reading from the first book of Samuel. The Lord said to Samuel, "Fill your horn with oil, be on your way. I am sending you to Jesse of Bethlehem, for I have chosen my king from among his sons." As Jesse and his sons came to the sacrifice, Samuel looked at Eliab and thought, "Surely the Lord's anointed is here before him." The Lord said to Samuel, "Do not judge from his appearance or from his lofty stature, because I have rejected him. Not as man sees does God see, because man sees the appearance, but the Lord looks into the heart." The same way Jesse presented 7 sons before Samuel, but Samuel said to Jesse, "The Lord has not chosen any one of these." And Samuel asked Jesse, "Are these all the sons you have?" Jesse replied, "There is still the youngest who is tending the sheep." Samuel said to Jesse, "Send for him. We will not begin the sacrifice banquet until he arrives here." Jesse sent and had the young man brought to them. He was ready, a youth handsome to behold and making a splendid appearance. The Lord said, "There, anoint him, for this is the one." And Samuel, with the horn of oil in hand, anointed David in the presence of his brothers. And from that day on, the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon David. The word of the Lord. A second reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Ephesians. Brothers and sisters, you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light, for light produces every kind of goodness and righteousness and truth. Try to learn what is pleasing to the Lord. Take no part in the fruitless works of darkness. Rather expose them, for it is shameful even to mention the things done by them in secret. But everything exposed by the light becomes visible, for everything that becomes visible is light. Therefore it says, "Awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light." The word of the Lord. Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. As Jesus passed by, he saw a man blind from birth. His disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" Jesus said, "Neither his parents sinned, so it is the works of God that might be made visible through him. We have to do the works of the one who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world." When he had said this, he spat on the ground and made clay with the saliva, smeared the clay on his eyes, and said to him, "Go wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. So he went and washed and came back able to see. They brought the one who was blind to the Pharisees. Now Jesus had made clay and opened the eyes on the Sabbath. So when the Pharisees also asked him how he was able to see, he said to them, "He put clay on my eyes and I washed. Now I can see." Some of the Pharisees said, "This man is not from God, because he does not keep the Sabbath." Others said, "How can a sinful man do such signs?" And there was a division among them. So they said to the blind man again, "What do you have to say about him, since he opened your eyes?" He said, "He is a prophet." Now the Jews did not believe that he had been blind and gained his sight until they summoned the parents of the one who had gained his sight. They asked them, "Is this your son, who you say was born blind? How does he now see?" His parents answered and said, "We know that this is our son, that he was born blind. We do not know how he sees now, nor do we know who opened his eyes. Ask him. He is of age. He can speak for himself." His parents said this because they were afraid of the Jews. For the Jews had already agreed that if anyone acknowledged him as the Christ, he would be expelled from the synagogue. For this reason his parents said, "He is of age. Question him." So a second time they called the man who had been blind and said to him, Give God the praise. We know this man is a sinner. He replied, he is a sinner I do not know. One thing I do know is that I was blind and now I see. They said to him, what did he do to you? How did he open your eyes? He answered, I told you already, and you did not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you want to become his disciples too? They ridiculed him and said, you are that man's disciple, we are disciples of Moses. We know that God spoke to Moses, but we do not know where this one is from. The man answered and said to them, this is what is so amazing, that you do not know where he is from, yet he opened my eyes. We know that God does not listen to sinners, but if one is devout and does his will, he listens to him. It is unheard of that anyone ever opened the eyes of a person born blind. If this man were not from God, he would not be able to do anything. They answered and said to him, you were born totally in sin, and you are trying to teach us. And they threw him out. The gospel of the Lord. There's a saying, there is none as blind as those who choose not to see. The readings today speak to us of seeing things as they really are. Samuel is blind because David is a young and inexperienced person. But the Lord knew David because God sees into the heart and not just an outward appearance. St. Paul writes to the Ephesians, living in darkness and needing the light of faith to see. The Pharisees are blind to who Jesus truly is, so they ignore what he does and what he says. The only one who could truly see was the man born blind, who is the only one who recognizes Jesus as the Lord of life. Not only is the man born blind cured of his blindness, but he gradually grows in his faith. First, he sees Jesus as a prophet, then as a man from God, and finally, as the Son of Man and Lord. How many of us are blind in one way or another? We do not always live the teachings that Jesus left for us to follow. How many people are staying not only for food, but also for love? How many people live lonely lives with no one to care for them? I'm not just talking about on the streets or in our neighborhoods, sometimes in our own families. The only way to happiness for many of us is a lot of money in our bank accounts, a good paying job, a new home, and a brand new car. It is what we seek, but many of those people only appear to be happy. The people who do not have a lot seem to be the happiest. They are the ones who help at church or other organizations, who give of themselves whenever and wherever they can. We are a loving family toward each other, yet there are more divorces, more separations, and more single-parent families than ever before. We are proud of our Catholic faith, but less and less people even bother to go to church anymore. There is less time to fit God into our schedules. What do? We call on the Lord of our faith to open our eyes, to remove the blindness that has been with us for years. We are to live our lives for our families, our friends, our neighbors. We are to take Jesus' teachings of loving God and each other to heart. When we do that, we'll realize that we are no longer blind. We can now see others around us in our lives. We'll also see Jesus in each one of those people. God bless everyone. Have a good week. It surprises me that the weather is going down and the gas prices are going up. Should be the other way around. Take care.